So 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with, not to brag, 3 autoimmune illnesses. Second opinion, third opinion, fifth opinion, they all said the same thing. This is incurable. Huge amounts of medication with no positive effect. The minute I got scared, I thought, okay, I'm going to find another way. And I changed my food. And I kid you not, 7 or 8 months after, I was completely off all the meds.
Because I think for many people, food is first of all a pleasure.
The food industry is doing, they're convincing us more and more that food and emotional pleasure are connected, but they aren't. So you'll be able to find a way to enjoy this pizza if you want to, but it's not going to control you. But it's a myth that has been put, like, quite strongly has been put upon us that it shouldn't exist. It doesn't make sense. Stress is here, body is here. If cigarettes could cure stress, they would be prescribed mental health clinics.
Hello everyone, Alexandra Vasilieva is back and my podcast Meanings with Alexandra Vasilieva. Today I would like to introduce you to a very talented person, Marina Antonova. She is a very unique nutritionist and the person who really knows everything, not only about nutrition, but also about your psychological state of mind, about your addictions. She helps people to get back to their real selves and to understand why do they eat sugar, drinking coffee, drinking alcohol, what's behind it. And on this podcast, she's going to reveal all secrets which will help you to understand yourself much better. Welcome to my podcast, Marina.
Thank you very much. I will reveal a few secrets, not all of the secrets.
Oh,
I know. I know. It's very nice to meet you. Thank you for listening. So my name is Marina Antonova. I am a nutritionist and I'm a food coach. So food coach is how I prefer to be known, because nutritionist is more about just not prescribing, but maybe advising what you should and shouldn't eat. And from my experience, I've noticed that it is just not enough if you want to change your food, because the way we look at food is actually at the core of how we eat rather than the foods that are available. It's how we look at food, what we think about it, how we emotionally relate to it. That is more important than anything else when we choose what we eat.
Oh, wow, sounds very interesting. But before that, I would like to know more about you, because I believe that the most talented specialists, these are the ones who had own journey, own path, and maybe even help themselves first of all. So did you have any story when you had problem with your health and then you started your healthy journey?
Yes, I did help myself. So 15 years ago, I was diagnosed with, not to brag, 3 autoimmune illnesses. So these are illnesses that are meant to last a lifetime. So I had ulcerative colitis, I had ankylosing spondylitis, which is a form of arthritis, and I had gout. So for 5 years, I tried to heal them, or not manage these illnesses medically with medical help. I had a lot of pills. I had a lot of medication. I was on a lot of medication. I went to all kinds of doctors in different countries. I wanted second opinion, third opinion, fifth opinion. They all said the same thing. This is incurable. So here are your pills. Please take them, which I did. I was a very good patient for a very long time. But unfortunately, my internal system was getting quickly adapted to the pills that I was taking. So the doses got bigger, but the symptoms stayed the same or persevered, I would say. So what I ended up having was huge amounts of medication with no positive effect. And that was a rude awakening for me, because of course I thought medication is going to help, but it didn't. And it led me to my doctor advising I had a colon removal because they thought that was the problem. So my colon was completely destroyed. It's ulcerative colitis. It's completely destroyed. I'm bleeding. It's full of ulcers. They're active, the entire thing. So they said, okay, let's remove it since it's causing you so much pain. And frankly, I was quite happy to do so, since by then my life was not alive. I couldn't function. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't go outside. I was on the toilet all of the time. I had extreme pains. I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep. So when they said, let's do the operation, I said, okay. But somewhere here in my mind, I thought, right, like it's a long operation. At the time, it would have taken 8, maybe it's shorter now, but at the time it would have taken 8 hours. And I thought, if I have anesthesia that is necessary for an 8-hour operation, am I going to come to? By then I lost so much weight. It's like this. So I just got scared of anesthesia. Really, that's what stopped me. I just thought, right, what if I don't survive this? Because I feel so poorly. And the minute I got scared, I thought, okay, I'm going to find another way. I'm going to look for another way. And I changed my food. And I kid you not, 7 or 8 months after, I was completely off all the meds. And I remember I was taking a trip to Australia, from London to Australia, for a long holiday with my daughter, because I was able to do so. I was able to travel that far 6 months after changing my diet. That was
wow,
enlightening. That was a revelation. I had no idea. Like, when I started this food journey, it was a risk. I thought, right, I'm going to give it a year. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to have the operation. I have no other option. But it did work.
Wow, that's fantastic. It sounds like a miracle, actually.
It was a miracle. But now that we know how bodies work and how they respond to food, it's not a miracle. It's actually to be expected. But yes, at the time I was in awe. It's unbelievable.
So now you're in a mission to help others. You have your own methodology, your own unique approach, how to help others, yeah?
Yes. But it's spread out from then. So now, I should tell you that remission wasn't everlasting. That remission lasted 2 years only, and I got sick again, and it was as severe as the first time, and it was as horrible. And what I had done during those 2 years was I kind of began to have cheat days, as we call them. When you
just a little piece,
just
of
a little bit, yeah, just a little
Nobody
piece of
sees.
something here and there. And it really ended up, I really kind of reverted back to my old habits. And the more bad food you eat, of course, the less good food you are able to consume, because you can't eat everything. So when I looked back at it, I was in denial for a very long time. But when I looked back at it, I realized that I basically ate myself sick again. And that was the moment for me when I realized that there was something much deeper at play. Not deeper, but there was something else at play, something more than just this food is good for you, this food is bad for you. Because I knew all the good things or all the good foods that I should be eating, but I wasn't doing it, So I thought, why am I not following my own advice? And food addiction is the answer. Food addiction, that's what I had. That's what I have. No, had. Or have? Had. So now when I do help people, and it doesn't matter if they want to lose weight, or it doesn't matter if they want to get well. What matters is that they want to change their food, they want to change how they eat and their diet, and I help them through this journey. So I help with their psychology as much as with their. So we change both things. We change nutrition and we change psychology.
Wow, so it's a complex approach.
It has
which
to be.
combines
It has
everything.
to be. I think we now live in the world that is just, it just doesn't work knowing all the things that you should eat and shouldn't be eating. Like, it doesn't, it's just, by now it's just information, you know. Because if you have the desire for pizza and you know you shouldn't have it, doesn't matter. You're still going to have it because the desire is here. It's like it's nagging, and you are, at some point, you're going to give in. Like me, even knowing that you might die, you're still probably, most likely, at some point going to give in. So it's very important to work with, unfortunately, these days, I wish it wasn't this case, the case, but it is. So these days you have to work from both nutritional perspective and psychological. Yeah.
Because I think for many people, food is first of all a pleasure. People think, okay, there was a bad day, but I'm gonna go home and get my cake.
Yes, I'm gonna get a treat. I'm gonna get some rest. Yes. So this is at the core of what I do, of how I approach food and how I teach my clients or people to approach food. So pleasure. You have to get pleasure from food. You have to, because it's evolutionary. If you don't get pleasure from food, you don't eat. If you don't eat, you don't live. So there has to be this element, yes. But pleasure from food has to come from when you see it as a source of nutrients. So you receive your nutrients. You know you're going to stay alive for however long, and this gives you pleasure. So this is innate. This is our instinct. But what pleasure you're talking about is emotional.
Guilty pleasure.
Yeah, yes, you could say that. It's emotional pleasure. And emotional pleasure has no place in, it shouldn't be connected to food. It isn't. It actually isn't. But we have been taught to connect these two. And I think that is, this is something very sinister that is the food industry is doing. They are convincing us more and more that food and emotional pleasure are connected, but they aren't. So my job is to teach you, is to teach people to disconnect, to bring it back to how it was. So pleasure from food is here, and it's connected to your body, and pleasure from whatever you find, pleasure for your soul, is here, and it is, like I said, connected to your soul. But they don't interact. So once we separate them, it becomes so much easier. You want to change your diet, piece of cake, very, very easy.
But I think if we find pleasure in food, it means we are lying to ourselves. We are betraying ourselves somewhere else.
Yes, that is part of it. So we do have desires. We have wishes. We have something that is pushing us to perceive more, to find more. Purpose of life, if you will. But not all of us are brave enough to
follow our dreams.
Right? Yeah, to go there. And instead of going there, which would be great, would be difficult, but would be also very interesting and fun. But instead of doing that, so whenever we feel uneasy, we just, instead of going, oh, what is it? We kind of go, take the cake and we go, oh, shut up, right?
Oh.
We stifle ourselves. We just stifle that voice. We like, it's almost literal. We just like, shut up. It's like putting a pacifier in a child's mouth going, no, I'm not going to listen to you. And it is problematic because it's very difficult to live a life not to your full potential. Like, it's still going to be here. And the more it's bugging you, the more you're going to eat, because the more you want to keep it quiet.
But in other words, what you are doing is to help people to get back to their real selves, real desires. It's a very transformational journey, which is way deeper than just nutrition.
Yes. So I have a client, or had a client. We finished working already, and it took her 5 months. So it took a while. But by the end of 5th month of our work together, it came out. She was like, do you know what? I really, really want to live in a house by the sea. She's in her 40s, she's in her late 40s, and she lives in Kazakhstan, which is absolutely, like, it's so far removed from a house by the sea. And all her, maybe not all her life, but all her adult life, she has been just suppressing this wish to have a completely different life. Like, I don't know if she's going to pursue it. I don't know if she's going to do anything, but at least it's out there. At least she has, she can grab it, and she can either go, well, okay, maybe not, but she can actually also go, right, what can I do about this? So it's more. And she came to me because she would eat at night. So it was so strong that she just, every night she had to just make it go away.
Just not think about it.
Just not think about
it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And I feel like, yeah, it's a challenge now, get me a house by the sea. It's a challenge, but it's so much better than eating constantly and just hating yourself for it.
It's an opportunity to change your life completely in all spheres of your life,
right?
Because you're facing the truth, radical honesty with yourself.
Yes. So we find it. We pursue it. Well, we don't pursue it. I hope they pursue it, but we find it.
Wow, that's fantastic. And how about the stress? Because a lot of people, they smoke or they drink alcohol because they feel stressed. It's in the modern reality in big cities, like they just feel, okay, I get a minute just to smoke a cigarette to calm down.
Interesting. If cigarettes could cure stress, they would be prescribed mental health clinics, right? So every patient with depression or any mental health issues would be given cigarettes to smoke, right? If they could cure stress. So the same goes with food. It's the same thing. Stress is here, food is here. Stress is emotions. You don't even always have to deal with it. Sometimes stress is just there, and you just have to go about your day because, like, you're alive, so it's part of it. It's part of your being alive. But food is your body. You take care of your body, so your body can carry you through the stress. They're not related. So don't come to me and say you're stress eating. No, you definitely can, and you should. But it's a myth that has been put, like, quite strongly has been put upon us. It shouldn't exist. It doesn't make sense. Stress is here, body is here. So if we just disconnect them, how it's always been before the food industry conquered the world, it's just going to be so much easier. Changing your food is going to be so much easier.
That's so deep. But how does your program looks like? It feels like it's such a long journey. How long does it take to change the habits?
Right. Well, it's long and it's not. So it's 6 months. It's 6 months long, which normally you go to a nutritionist and they go, right, like I said, have this or not that, and this and not that.
Just basics.
Yes, and come back and let's see your progress. I have noticed in myself and also with other in my experience that people tend to say, okay, I will have this and not have that, and then just not do it because addiction is here, the food dependency is here, our search for pleasure in food is here, our desire to eat badly is here. So they just go, they go into the wild and they just revert to how they used to live before. So now it's a 6 months program. And every week, it's a pattern. Every week or every other week, we work on all of the food groups. So we go through dairy, is it good for you? Coffee, is it good for you? And why? So what we do now is we just kind of grab foods that are in front of us, or somebody cooked for us, or we bought, or we found in the supermarket. But after working with me, you will know exactly, is it good for you or is it? And you will be able to make a decision based on this information you didn't know before. So it'll be
conscious choice.
Like a conscious choice. You can still go for bad foods, but it will be conscious. It won't be like, oh, I'm grabbing it just because it's here. You will be able to balance it out with good foods, first of all. And second of all, you'll be able to find a way to let's go for pizza. You'll be able to find a way to enjoy this pizza if you want to, but it's not going to control you. You're not going to follow it. It'll be a decision. It'll be a decision that you have made, and it's just so much more freedom in that. It's food freedom. It's just you feel in control. You build your life better. It's just a different life.
Wow. Because there is so much of propaganda of sugar, for example. Yeah. So what do you think? Can we have some sugar in fruits, or what do you think?
Yeah. Yes. So sugar in fruit and sugar outside of fruit, sugar that's been made in labs or factories, I believe they're different things. So as human beings, we have evolved, and as we were evolving, food was evolving with us together for millions of, that's not a joke, not for 2 weeks or like 2 months, it's millions of years, and fruit has been an integral part of our evolution. So I believe we need it because it has nutrients that we relied on for so long, and sugar only used to exist in certain seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew you had to eat all of it because then there'd be no food, and if you don't eat all of it, you'll die. So it used to save our lives, and I believe there is a reason why we want it as well. It's in us. It's like, it's undeniable. It's very, very difficult to say no to all of and stick to this plan. Be like, oh, I won't have any sugars, and really not have any. It's so hard because in our DNA there is this desire to eat it because it used to save our lives. But when we talk about processed sugar, this is just something that the food industry knew about our evolution and about our desire, and they created something that's kind of emulated, I suppose, what fruit does for us, and then they marketed it. And these two are different. So all of my clients eat fruit. I love fruit, all kinds of fruit. I'm not saying it should be eaten all year round. I do, but it's not perhaps the best idea. There are seasons, like I said, but it's different from anything that is man-made. So when things are man-made, like what I'm saying is we shouldn't be comparing fruit and cake. They're not.
No,
This is for our body, for our colon, for our internal system, for our organs, different things. This we must consume. This really has no place.
What I love about your program, it's very fundamental. It covers all basics and
so
psychology,
yes,
and
it's
physiology.
everything. So I started. I lost my trail of thought. So. We go through all the food. We go through all the food groups. Must you? Mustn't you? Should you? Shouldn't you? But we also look at psychology of eating. We look at how and why whoever is choosing what they want to eat and what is behind that. So really, fundamentally, it's all about looking for pleasure, like we mentioned. But there's a lot of myths around bad foods. There's a lot of misinformation, and we dismantle that. And so by the end of working with me, by the end of those long 6 months, you walk into a pastry shop, and you don't want any of that. You don't want any. Or maybe you do today and you will buy it, but then you don't want for another year or another 2 months but it'll be a decision. But mostly you will look at this and you go, oh, nasty, and you leave. So it really is transfer. I found that removing the desire for bad foods is really the only thing that really truly works, like long term.
Because on social media we see a lot of propaganda about Ozempic, detox, diet. It's all like short-term solution.
Interesting, right? Detox it's a short program that is, yes, like it's, I guess it's good in its foundation because you're eating so much crap that at least there is some time in your life where you give your body a rest. But it just makes no sense. Why would you want to treat yourself well just 2 months a year? Why are you, and then 10 months a year you abuse your internal organs? Why would you want, if you have a car, a nice, let it be expensive, your favorite car, whatever it is, and you drive it and it serves you well and you love it, and then you put the best petrol that is suited for that car, but you only do it 2 weeks a year, and then the rest of the year it's like sand and water. It doesn't. Why would we wouldn't do it to a car, though, would we? We wouldn't. But to ourselves, it's a detox program, I'm gonna go on it. No, why not? Why not just, I'm obviously speaking as somebody who has had such health issues. I know what it leads to when you feed yourself badly. I know what it can become, how it snowballs. So I'm very passionate about explaining that eating well, like, do it forever. Do it always. You're gonna feel well. You're gonna have a life. You're gonna build a life. You're going to make plans knowing that you're going to achieve those plans. Because when you're sick, guess what? You're not achieving anything. You cannot. You can just stay in bed. You have to stay in bed. There's no life being built when you're sick.
And one thing is detox, but the other thing is trendy Ozempic.
Oh, Ozempic, yes. So Ozempic, I like when celebrities come out, and because we can analyze them. I like when they come out and they admit, I've done it, I've taken it. And if we take, I think James Corden, he said, look, I took it, but my addiction was stronger. I just kept it, because if the desire is here, it's there. Yes, your stomach is smaller. You're not hungry, but the thing is, we barely eat when we're hungry these days. Anyway, we eat because we have a desire. We eat for other reasons. So even if you're not hungry and your addiction is active, you're still going to eat. So this Ozempic, I'm somebody who spent 5 years on very heavy medication, and it had side effects. I lost a lot of my hair. I lost a lot of my weight. I was unable to walk properly. It was horrible. So part of it was illness, but part of it was side effects from all the meds. And so having abandoned the meds and having now this life that I have, I look at the people who are asking for meds, like Ozempic. It's a it's pharma, and they willingly put this inside their bodies, and it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad, because it's not just because we don't know what the side effects are exactly. It doesn't matter. It's chemicals. You're putting chemicals inside your organs, and like deal with it inner system, but it's not going to deal with that. You're not going to be on your deathbed with your loved ones around thinking, at least I had Ozempic. It's not going to happen like that. It doesn't. So there is an easier way. It's, yes, okay, 6 months seems long, but what is it compared to a lifetime? It's not long. 6 months is not long, right? So it just takes some time, but it's not difficult to change your diet. It's not difficult. You just need a structure, and you just need the knowledge, and you just need to know how to unsee this pleasure in bad foods. That's all. This takes time, but it doesn't take willpower. It doesn't take even intelligence. It doesn't take anything. It's just a little bit of different information. It's
And
very easy.
right coach, right mentor.
Yes, and the right coach. Who are you talking about?
So how do you work? Is it a one-to-one session? Is it a program? Which formats you have? How to?
Yes, so far it's a one-to-one program. It's exclusive. I am your 24-hour, 24/7 coach, private coach, except for Sundays. We meet once a week for an hour for 6 months, and we go, like I said, we go through everything from your psychological dependencies to every little food knowledge or information, and we put them together. So all your problems, all your issues, all your challenges, we work through them. And yeah, so that's and then we do it for 6 months, and it can be anything really. It's from your deep desires that you can't find, or it could be something very silly. It could be like a myth about, oh, I come home and I'm tired and I eat because I'm tired. So this really takes a few seconds. I can just dismantle it. Like, if you're tired, all you need is a chair or a bed. Like, you're not sitting on top of your food. So it's good. How are you relating this? So it's these little things that we have been taught to think. They're subconscious now. We get them out and we dismantle them, and then the desire goes away.
Do you also have a shorter formats of communication?
So I do. Sometimes I have 5-day sprints. So they are either no sugar or no caffeine. It depends on what you want. They are free, so this is a great way for you to see how I work and what I present and what I give. And if you like it, then we work for longer. So this is just a fun little thing that I do with, and I also go through them. So I also stop all the sugar, including fruit, for those 5 days. So it's become like such a social, like a fun little thing. Yeah, like a fun little thing. So there's no pressure. If you can't do it, you can't. But really, pretty much everyone can. And in fact, I've had girls who, it's been months now, and they're still not eat. They started to eat fruit, but they're still not eating, which is a surprise for me, because
even
it wasn't
5 days.
5 days. It was only 5 days. Yeah, it's very powerful. It was 5 days, and then it's just been months, and they're like, I haven't touched any caffeine, or I haven't touched any
no
sugar.
more desire.
No, don't need,
wow,
don't
fantastic.
want. So it's really, so sometimes it really works very quickly, but we still need to make sure so that everything is, in order, and the system is in place, and you're free from your desires. And so I forgot to mention then, if you come to me as a for the program, so the first session is free. So you will have an hour, sometimes I'm a little longer, for us to get to know, like, for me to understand what you want, and if I can help you. Exactly. And then you would see, and you would see if I'm the one you want to be around, if I'm the one that you think I would help. And so we get to know each other. And then we can make a decision whether we proceed or not. So it's an introduction, like a trial session. Exactly. It's an introduction to each other, and then the decision is made after. Yes.
Wow,
so it's free.
Fantastic.
Yes, that's free.
So I'm going to leave all the links to your profiles here below the video. And I think that's fantastic opportunity to get in touch with such a fundamental expert who works not only with superficial level and just give you the knowledge, but who can understand you deeply.
The detox.
Like detox. Like 3 days in your life with the change.
Yes.
So I'm going to love myself, but just 3 days in a year.
Exactly.
3 days detox.
That's
so
enough.
It's something really deep, and you can understand yourself better. You can change your life. You can understand why do you link pleasure, stress with food, and you can unlink and change your life completely in all spheres of your life. So that's a fantastic opportunity. I will leave all contacts of Marina here, and please don't miss it. So your transformation starts right now and right here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. That was fantastic.
Thank you so much.